Hello, welcome back to another week of What It Takes to Be a Rock Star. Super excited you're here because this week I'm chatting with Jenna and Dennis from the band Donzii. And Donzii is an incredibly fun band. If they're not on your radar, I hope you check them out after this episode because they are just super, super fun. And the first time I met Donzii was in Texas because my band Gustav that I play drums in, we played together because Dennis from Donzii used to be in a band with our singer Lydia. And so we've played a couple of shows together, but when they came on stage, they showed up with a bunch of people and they all wore these like robes and they were playing recorder. All these people were playing recorder together to get up on stage, and then it was just like amazing artsy kind of dance party on stage. And nowadays if you go see them, they're kind of in their butler phase, which means Jenna is dressed up as a butler and she has like a mustache drawn on her face and she's running around handing out weird food. It's really, really, really fun. It's really great music and they're really cool people. And I was really happy to get them on the podcast this week because they have a lot of ways that they go about touring. And I was always curious about how they made it happen because sometimes they could, really strip it down like super low. And sometimes they have a bunch of people. So I wanted to hear how they did it. And, we chat about the recorders, of course. And also, their cat Walter made a lot of appearances during this conversation, and Walter is super, super, super cute and had the zoomies and was running around like crazy. And so, if you would like to see Walter, you can watch this whole video on YouTube if you aren't already. And you could just search What It Takes to Be a Rock Star, Donzii. It'll come up Donzii. And also, make sure to check out the description below, either the YouTube or in Spotify or Apple or wherever you're listening, because I link a bunch of really fun things for you to check out. We have a Discord that you can join. It's a Discord community that you can join. I always link the band's websites. I'm gonna link Dennis's recorder album that he made, and just lots of things to look at in the description. So check it out, and I hope you enjoy this conversation. I really love your backstory. Like, I read all about it. It's like all over the GoFundMe. How you just kind of like made music to just kind of, it almost seemed kind of like an escape in a way. And it's just like, I feel like music in general is that. And like, I know people will say that a lot, but like it really seemed like the circumstances at the time, like it was just so important for you to like start this band. Is that what it felt like?
Definitely. Yeah. I think it was interesting that, like meeting Dennis was like this really pivotal moment because he's like a therapy cat, you know? And he just made me feel really like comfortable and like, gave me the chance to really dive into that and like express that. And kind of it just like all kind of connected everything for me, because like I'd always wanted to, and I write poetry like insanely. Like I have like 800 journals.
Yeah.
Maybe not 800, but definitely like in the hundreds, like literally. And so
Wow.
it was just like so awesome to meet someone where I was like, okay, like you know, like this is gonna happen now. So it's cool.
Yeah, this is like your first band?
Well, I was in another band in my early 20s. It was, oh yeah, this is Walter.
Hi,
It was
Walter.
an electro clash band.
Whoa, what is that? I don't even know what that is.
It was like
Electro Clash.
early 2000s, like 2000 to like 2005 it kind of existed. Did you ever hear the band Fisher Spooner?
Mm-mm.
They were kind of like, I would say, one of the bigger ones, and like Ladytron.
Ladytron, yeah.
Okay, cool. It sounds
Fisher Spoon.
awesome.
But it was called Lost Faction, and yeah, it was a short-lived project, but I kind of did that, and then like loosely dabbled, but like it wasn't until like we linked up that I was like, okay, like I could like really seriously like I feel comfortable, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's so cool. It like really takes the right person sometimes to like get you started,
It
to get you going.
does.
Yeah.
It does. And like so for a while, like I like personally, like I felt I was like, oh, like I'm not like because I needed this kind of like, you know, part of my path. Like it's not real, it's not all me. And it's like, nah, man, like that's BS. Like this is a life about people, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
This whole weird like fantasy of like the self-proclaimed like the one, like I'm the one, like I did everything, I'm the one, like nobody, it's not even real. Like everybody's had support and teachers and friends, and it's just it's all about how you frame it, you know, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and anyone who's like really shining really brightly, it's because they have like an amazing support behind them that's helping them feel comfortable enough to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's super cool. I love that you found each other. Where did you even meet?
We met, funny enough, we met on there's these little islands in the city of Miami. And so when they were building the city of Miami, 100 years ago, um, they would like basically take these pieces of coral rock that they were carving out and they would dump them in the middle of the bay. And then those piles of rocks turned into little islands. And then, they're kind of like city parks. And so you could take a boat or a canoe there. And um, my friend had brought us and he invited us camping, and he had also invited Jenna to camp, but he kind of like kidnapped her in a weird way, like he was like, just come to this island, and then like with no intention of like taking her back until the next
Yeah.
day.
He liked me. He was like trying to, you know.
He was trying to hook up with her, and
That
so
he
then
was
I
like, go
came to the
camping.
island and found them, and I saw that Jenna was like overall kind of pissed off at the whole situation, which I thought was kind of like, I don't know, I kind of liked it. I was like, oh, I liked it. This
And I thought he was like really hot. Like he rolled up like no shirt, like a Telecaster, a nice amp on a canoe,
Yeah, I was like these.
What? That's wild.
I don't even know why we did it, but we were like,
and with his homie who had like a nice bass. I don't know.
yeah, we were like, I don't know what we were thinking, but we were like, we're gonna bring our nice guitars to this island in the ocean, like, and I don't
A
know, I don't know
jam. I
why,
don't know.
I don't even know
And
why.
it pissed me off. I was like, there, I was mad. I was mad that this guy brought me. And I was like, oh, now here's this hot guy. I was like, fuck this guy. You know, I was like, he won't like me. Like, I don't like him. Like, I'm out.
Yeah, she was just
And I just
mad. She was
left.
just generally mad
I
the
went to
first day
sleep
I
in
met
the
her.
tent.
She was so mad, and then I was just like, that was kind of cool to me that she was super mad at everything, and then I was like, okay, I like it. I like that you're mad. And then the next day she was like indignantly like picking up trash like in the morning. And I was
Because they
like,
were trashing the island. There
I
was
mean,
like
they were,
garbage everywhere.
I,
Everybody was on all
I
these
know.
drugs.
And so I was like, I was like, can I help you pick up the trash? And then yeah, and then from there, like she kind of disappeared, and it took time, like months and months of like seeing her, not seeing her. She lost her
Trying to get
phone. She lost, and then I couldn't call her, and I tried calling her and didn't know she had got her phone stolen. It was kind of cool. It was just like a slow build up, but that's how we met. We were kind of forced into meeting on this little weird island in the middle
Mhm.
of the city. So it was cool.
Wow.
We had a good time. We
Wow.
had a good time building up our
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah, how long did it take until you were like dating?
Like a year.
Like a year, yeah.
Because I disappeared because I like flagged a boat down off the island.
Yeah.
Like we went to take a nap after picking up trash, and then I was like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, and then I just didn't see her for like months, and I was like, where did that girl go? Whose
Wow.
number I don't have.
And then you ended up moving to like Brooklyn together, right? Like a year after you got together.
Basically,
Yeah,
yeah.
she went to grad school at Pratt for dance movement therapy, and we did. I worked at I worked at Champs Vegan Bakery, and shout out to Champs, and that's the same time I met Lydia, um, through a Craigslist ad or something to join that band Ennui.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I was like,
cool.
I'll join this band, and then that's how I met Lydia and Jordan, Vitesse X, and all those cool cats. And at that same time, we were working on like, the beginnings of Donzii.
Yeah, he was like teaching me drums, and then he would play bass, and we'd be like, "Oh, this sounds kind of cool." Like he'd tell me what I'm not a good drummer, like, but he'd be like, "Try
You're all right.
this,"
You're all right.
and I'd be like, "Okay," and then
Yeah, and so she like to
you know,
basically, yeah, like I'd give her a good beat to practice, and I felt like, well, it helps to practice to some music, so I'd just play bass while she practiced and be like, just to give it some musicality, and that's kind of what we started.
yeah,
We started writing the
then we
songs.
started finding
Yeah,
stuff. We're like, "Oh, actually,"
oh, here's a little bass line.
and then he'd go like program, like some drums in the drum machine.
That's super cool. And when was the moment that you were like, we gotta play a show? Or like, how did the first show happen?
Well, we were like kind of like it's interesting because like we were kind of starting in Miami before we left too with this guy Doug, and we had like some sort of stuff we were jamming and playing around with, and then we were developing stuff in New York, and then a friend in Miami was like, "Hey, do you guys want to be part of this collaborative art show?" And I was like, "Dude, like what if we collaborated and made a band, like." And in my head, it was like, I was like, I figured it out, like it's obviously not like that crazy, but for some reason in my head, I was like, wow, this is how we could collaborate. And, and that was it. And then we had to like pick a name and like bust out like these songs. And we were just like, all right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much just organically.
I love that. How'd the name come about? Because when I was like Googling you just to check some stuff
Yeah,
out.
all the Google stuff is wrong. And I don't know how to change any of that, but the Google stuff is Donzii is also it's a speedboat company from Miami. It's not an Italian boat company. I don't know where that came from,
I
but
don't know either.
they're actually it's like our name is embedded in like Miami like culture history as well. So it's like a reference to that. Um, but basically, yeah, we were getting ready for that collaborative art show, and we didn't have a name, and they're like, "What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?" And we were walking around, and we walked by a Donzii boat in someone's front yard, and we were just like, "Dude, just take a picture in front of this boat, and like that's our name, like whatever." Like and
I love that.
we all just like
That was
stood in
it.
front of this boat and like took the photo with the name Donzii.
And then added
We're
an
like,
eye. We just added
yeah,
an
so and then
eye.
we drew a little
So,
spray like with like the iPhone like marker. We like just drew an extra eye at the end of it, and we're like, there we go.
that's
So
I
it.
we're
love that.
assignment turned in, like assignment complete.
I feel like the best ideas sometimes are just like the fastest thing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, in
I agree.
retrospect, I'm like, what could we have made a better name? I don't know, but
No.
I guess what I appreciate about our name is that it doesn't, it's pretty unique, I guess,
I love our name.
apart from the boat company that we borrowed it from. But yeah, it's like in its field, it's unique, and it doesn't like really have any like reference to like other things, like because like sometimes we're like a sort of a goth adjacent band as well as post punk, but it's not some name that's like Blackness of the Tears or something, like it's like this, or you know what I mean? Like it's not some name that's like, oh, this genre, it's like it's a genreless name, which I like.
Yeah,
You know
me
what I
too.
mean? Like sadness hole. Like, no, it's not that. Like,
Sadness hole.
I don't know. That's what I'm trying. We
I
didn't
love
want it to do. We didn't want it to be something like that. You know, like, oh, like,
Tears of the Night. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, you know, just
exactly.
nothing. Like, no, like we don't want you to. We don't want you to like have any idea what this is from the name. So that was the idea.
Yeah, Walter,
Oh, Walter's going off. She wants attention.
our cat.
What?
Walter, come on, Walter. What do you got to say? Walter's probably seen it all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This band is really cool.
That first art show was like collaborative art show. How many people were in the collab band?
Huge. It was a huge art show. There were probably like
In the show or the band?
like 40. Oh, do you mean the art show? Sorry.
Well, it's fine. I was asking about the band, but you could tell me about the
Oh,
show too.
it was a 3-piece. It was
Okay.
me, Dennis, and
three
Doug.
three
Doug
people on a
Weber.
fog machine.
Okay. Is Doug the one who's in the other person in the Donzii picture on Spotify?
That's Danny.
Danny. Okay. I've seen Danny play with you
Yes.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Doug was just in the beginning.
Doug was, I mean, he was a founding member, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, we parted ways pretty early on.
Yeah. And is Danny in Miami now or okay.
Danny's in Miami.
Danny in Miami.
But
Miami
we
Danny.
still, we still work with Danny.
We played a show with him last week in
Yeah.
Miami.
Oh,
And then
cool.
out here we've been playing shows with George and we're so lucky to play with both of those guys who are like just they're so talented, both of them. But like, you know, Danny is definitely like he's like our brother, you know.
Yeah.
So is and so is George. I mean, George mixed our first songs ever.
Yeah.
Like, so George is the one that like we sent our song and he was like, "This is awesome. We need to mix this and put this out." And we were like, "Really?
Okay.
This is okay?" And he was like, "Yeah, this is great." And so George has been involved since day one too.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like a Donzii universe, you know? So it's a
yeah, there's just people all over the place that we play
people,
with
yeah.
because we're scrappy.
Maybe
Yeah.
not scrappy. How about
Scrappy.
universal?
Resourceful.
Resourceful.
Universal.
Both
yeah,
are-
Universal healthcare.
Like we have people that we could play with in New York or in Denver or in New Orleans. You know, like if someone can't make a show or whatever. Someone told us the last time we were in Gainesville, and it's true. Every show we've ever played in Gainesville has been with a different lineup, and I think we've done like 9 shows over like our careers in
Maybe
Gainesville.
not every show.
No, I counted back to and I was like, you're totally right. And for some reason, like, oh, Danny can't make a Gainesville show, and this other Dan played guitar with us. That he only played that show, and then the last show we did in Gainesville was just a 2-piece, and then the show before that was it's like, so we just do whatever we can to make it work, basically. And
Yeah.
you'll always get a different show when you come see us.
Yeah. Do you like that or does it like stress you out? Like do you wish you just had like the same people every time?
I definitely wish we did have the same people every time, but
It's just not, it's not in the cards. It's money.
Mhm.
Like Danny's in his 60s and has a job and a house, and so
yeah,
we were like, let's move, and his partner is there, and it was like
he's
he
established,
could move out here, and sometimes like he can't do a whole tour, or like now like we have to we're going on tour with Ricky in March, and like George was like, I can't do this tour, like like work things have come up and I can't do it. So then we're like, okay, Danny, can you do it? And it's just like
everyone does their part.
Everyone does their part, but
George is will probably like put some guitar tracks with the drums or something and do half the tour as a 2-piece, and then Danny's
gonna jump on.
Danny's just awesome. He's so cool because he's just like I don't think I can tour anymore, and then like we're like, well, we're playing in Canada, and he's like, I've never played in Canada. Like that sounds awesome.
And you're like, come
And
on.
Danny's like, ah, what the hell? Like he's like, I don't want. He's like, I need a vacation anyway. You know, like
Can't.
You're getting him a little more and
Yeah.
more every time.
yeah. He's just like, yeah. He's like, I'm just gonna tell my boss to fuck off or something.
What does he do in Miami?
He builds.
He
He.
designs fire sprinkler systems for ginormous buildings.
Whoa.
So he's like an AutoCAD wizard, and he'll. I tried to work for him for a little bit, but I wasn't very good at it. But he's like, yeah, like all any big commercial building, and you see like this, like all the architect plans to get approved, like they need specific plans for fire suppression systems, and that's what he's like a master at that.
That's what he does,
He's very good. He's like,
Whoa.
and he can do it on the road too. So that's why it works sometimes. Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, cool.
He just has his computer there in the van, hotspot,
Yeah.
sending
he's set.
files.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I know from your GoFundMe, which you started that in like 2023, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
In your GoFundMe, you were talking about how you both quit your, regular jobs and you were doing side gigs. Are you still doing side gigs?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, since we moved here, I've just been doing like an online job doing like SEO stuff, search engine optimization. And
Nice.
I do dance movement therapy. Like in Miami, I was doing a lot of classes at schools and just like community centers and different things like that. I haven't really found that niche here in LA yet. And I have this like I'm having some like shoulder neck injury stuff right now. And I haven't been sleeping well, so that's been kind of like screwing up my job search, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, like definitely still no full-time job here.
Yeah. What about you, Dennis? What are you up to?
I just odd jobs. I'm always asking people, emailing them every week, being like, if you got anything, let me know. And I'm doing art handling. I'm assisting in a music studio.
That one's
I'm
cool.
just moving stuff for people. What like literally anything I can do. And I'll do it.
Walter.
Walter's going crazy right now.
That's okay.
But yeah, like I'm very much just kind of doing any gig I can get my hands on, and usually it usually works. So sometimes
Yeah.
I'll have to like sell a pedal or something. But most of the time, luckily, and that's another reason we moved out to LA is that there's just so much different opportunities for
Yeah,
work out here.
for both of us.
Miami was getting a little slow, and I've been oh my goodness, I've been doing art handling for so long. I was just kind of like trying to transition into finding more music related work, even if it's you know just assisting somebody or whatever. So yeah, I've been able to kind of mix that.
He's transitioning.
Yeah, I'm doing half art handling, half scenic production, half music stuff. So, and it's working.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's something that like isn't talked about enough, which is why I started this podcast is like the odd job thing that you have to do between tours because you can't
Totally.
keep a regular job or
Right.
like if you live in a city maybe you can have like a good restaurant gig or something where you make good money and they let you go on tour and let you come back, but like I don't
Yeah.
live in a city, and maybe I should, but it's like a full-time job trying to find jobs in
Yeah,
between the tours. And
100%.
And surviving in the city, like how you gonna like rent is crazier in a city and all of that. And yeah, it's definitely rough.
Hmm.
This is the first time in a long time where we feel like somewhat like pretty secure with what we're doing. Um job wise and stuff. Like even though I don't have a total like fixed schedule or know exactly how much I'm gonna make every month, I know that like it's probably gonna be okay.
That's good.
You know, because there's a lot of people out here that I can call and ask for help, ask for work really. And that's, there's no shortage of work right now, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. It's cool you guys did that. Like, you made the jump to LA just to be able to do that and to get like more music work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Must
more
be fun.
music work, more opportunities, working with different people, writing songs.
yeah,
Just being in community out here is a lot, it's working a lot better, I think, for our type of music.
yeah, totally.
Like Miami is awesome in its own way, but not necessarily for our little like,
Not for original post-punk band.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just like it's hard to like make that sustainable in a big party city.
And we're kind of trying to work toward that more out here.
Hold on one second.
Okay.
What
Yeah,
is it?
what I love that Walter's going wild. I love cats, so it's all good.
Hell
Um
yeah.
yeah. So that GoFundMe that you did, it went awesome, it looked like. It went
We basically met our goal.
mhm.
We had like a big mystery donor in the end that helped put us over, and that's what's like enabled us to like work with, who with Chris Cody right now. We put down the
Nice.
first half, and we still have, you know, some to put down on the rest of it. Um, we're gonna have to come up with more eventually because this stuff is expensive, and
Yeah.
we're doing it independently. We don't have a label, we don't have a manager, we don't have a booking agent. We have just us, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It feels crazy,
Yeah.
'cause I'm like, on the one hand, I love it, like I like having like the freedom. I don't have to like give anyone a cut, I don't have to get frustrated. I don't have to like wait on anybody. But on the other hand, it's like
It is a little,
it would be nice to have some help,
yeah,
you know?
Mhm.
And it's like it's kind of puzzling because I'm like, our music's not bad. Our performance is good. People want us to play, but like there's just some, I don't know, it's like, I don't know, it frustrates me. To be honest with you, on this podcast right now, it frustrates me that like no one's been like, hey, like we could help you. I'm like, really? Like, okay, I'll do it myself, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like we have worked with people and like had to like part ways with that. So it's a timing thing.
yeah, and I don't know, in my limited experience and in my opinion, you record labels are becoming more and more like obsolete or just like big giant machines or something. So it's like they work really well for huge artists and for budgets that are like $100,000 for a record. But then if you're making a $10,000 record, it doesn't work. Like no one's doing like research, artist development or things like that anymore. Like they're waiting for you to be viral already before they're going to put like a ton of money behind it. And so um the best thing a record label could do right now for a small band like us would be like basically sharing their audience with us and that's really cool. But then you've licensed all your music for 5 years for that just to gain like uh that audience. And then let's say any one of those songs does well, it's like they're just collecting off of it. And
I mean,
it's like
and it's relative.
it's tricky, it just becomes tricky because it's like you want it's all what you want out of life, you know
Mhm.
do you want control over your music, or I mean, I think, do you want to just get it out there? you know, how do you build that audience yourself? That's kind of the trickiest part that we found, I think, is like
How to build the audience.
yeah, how to continually build an audience, because it comes in fits and starts, but like how can you kind of steadily grow and
Trying
yeah,
to figure
just find that like that sweet spot where you can keep growing and um make it sustainable, right? Like
have
that's
opportunities, you know.
that's what's been the hardest for us.
Yeah.
Not opposed to working with any label or anything like that. I mean, that'd be awesome. Just at the end of the day, it just does seem like a lot of artists in general are giving up um their souls, or you know, if music is your soul, if your product is your soul, it's like you're giving that up to gain an audience that was built through like social media, or through things that aren't necessarily, sometimes don't seem genuine. Um,
Or they're lucky.
or I don't know. Yeah, it's just like
Sometimes
it gets me like really in this like weird philosophical place where I'm like, what is real? You know, I think that's what happens to me anyway. I start to debate like, you know, what is the necessity of something like Instagram or social media, and like how do these platforms that are arguably like run by and invented by like kind of evil people, that
Spotify
that
too.
good creative people have to put their,
Faith in.
you know, their faith and their what we've made our product, our emotion, onto a platform that is essentially capitalizing on like our sensitivities.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, and it all kind of goes like that. It all kind of snowballs into that kind of thing.
It definitely feels kind of weird, and we struggle with that. Like I struggle with just like I see it. I'm like, okay, just do the razzmatazz. Just do it. Just do the right pictures, do the right thing. But then there's this part of me is like, that's just like, fuck this, you know? Like I just like I can't take it, so it's hard for me because I'm like, this is such bullshit, you know? And I just want to be like, you know, like,
Like
you know,
Mark
like
Zuckerberg is
I
bad.
don't know.
Mark, we all can agree, I think, that Mark Zuckerberg is a bad person, but like, or a sellout, let's say. I don't even want to say good or bad, but he's a sellout, and we're all just like, we still have to do it. We
Yeah.
still have to be on Instagram and post it, you know, like, and it's just what we have to do, like, apparently right now. And it's like,
It's weird.
I don't know. It's like I start to like, you know, I'm like, do I have to do this? Do I really like, is someone like,
Dude.
is it
Well,
live or die? You know, do I have to do this? I don't
Live or die.
know.
Yeah.
You know, I could just like move to the country somewhere and just make music and never put it out anywhere and just enjoy the fact that I'm doing it. You know, that's another
we've
option.
talked about that. Like just being like, you know, okay,
We just do this for us.
we do this for us. Like,
Ultimately, we do it
I
for
mean,
us.
we do it for us for sure. We do it our way. And like, that's definitely a choice, you know? Like the performance art, like all these things that like, you know, people have told me over the years, like, you know, like that's not going to be the most marketable thing. Like,
Oh yeah.
you're making it pretty weird. You should try this, you should try that. And I'm like, it's not me, you know? Like, I don't want to do something that's not honest, you know? And so I don't know. Just you know,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like a lot of musicians can relate to all that because it is weird. It like crept up kind of all of a sudden one day. It was like we all have to post on Instagram 3 times a day, and like you need to pay these photographers like hundreds of dollars for portraits, and like luckily there's a lot of really nice photographers out there who like are just doing portraits for free. But like yeah, you need 7 reels a day. It's like every time there's a new feature, it's like all of a sudden the musicians have to do like 20 more things a day,
I
and it's like,
know.
ah!
And you have to know about the features, and then yeah, like you're saying, like you have to have the money to get the
Photographer.
photographer to pay for the this, to pay for the you know, and you're just like, damn it, like that's
It's a
where
whole
it's
nother
like,
job that you don't get paid for.
damn, that's where it's like, yeah, man, I do hope we can work with a label again because it's like
Yeah.
Money,
At
dude.
least a little snowball effect or something.
Yeah.
I always go back to this book, The Society of the Spectacle. I don't know if you know that book or not, but it's from the 60s. But I think it kind of described or foretold like the era that we're in right now, where we all are like beholden by the spectacle itself, which could be social media, and we think that we have to pour ourselves into it, and we're duped into agreeing to work for this thing that
Yeah.
really has no return value on us.
It sells us back to
It
ourselves.
sells us back to
you know?
ourselves, and
It's
we
like
work for it. And
so weird.
I encourage anyone, interested or listening to look up that book, Society of the Spectacle.
We just got. I sometimes I just want to like return to like making flyers.
Yeah,
You know,
like
like
can
I
we just
just
make flyers,
make
please?
the flyers. I get my email list together, and then like just be done with it. But then I'm like kind of shooting myself in the foot if I do that.
Yeah.
Right? It's music. Music is also sacred, right? And like I've never had a Spotify account. Like I just even like back in the early days, I was like, this just seems weird and not good. And even though you can listen to music anytime you want, and that's the most accessible way, I was just like, this isn't, I don't know, like there's something contrived about it.
I have Spotify.
She has Spotify, but
He listens to it.
like our home setup, I think reflects that too. It's like the primary way I listen to music is either radio, which would either be like public radio or college radio, CDs I buy at the thrift store, or records on our record player, and like that's it. Like that's how I digest the art that is music. Like
Most of the time, yeah.
I don't want to like be looking at a screen interface to like find the next song to listen to, or have the algorithm think that it knows like what song should come after this one. Like I'd rather leave that up to a person or the artist the way they intended it. Um, and it would just be great if like the world could shift into that or back into that,
Yeah.
disc jockey.
Yeah, it's been bothering me with the whole like when Spotify came out, because it's just like the numbers, and it just turned into this giant freaking like popularity contest.
Yeah.
And then no one wants to work with you if you don't have like the right numbers, and but then
Right.
people are just paying thousands of dollars to get the right numbers.
People are paying thousands of dollars to get the right numbers. People who have these labels, like they know all these tricks and things. And so then like here's like the little guy over here just getting like buried.
Yeah.
Because we can't afford to pay this person to do the remix.
Well,
We can't afford to be put on these crazy playlists. We can't afford.
How does
Like,
anybody know what's
it's
real
a
anyway?
huge barrier.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
it's like none of like any of these stats can be bought. So it's like, why are we even looking at this stuff? Like just
It's
make a
just-
decision for yourself,
I know
Like
it's also like it's demoralizing in a way too. And then it's like you're there on Instagram and it's like I'm just like, oh, I'll play the show with you. Follow, friend forever in my like little brain, like some people follow us and I don't know who they are. I'm like, oh, well, whatever. But then it's like, these same people that I think are my friend, they like unfollow me so that they can have 0 people that they follow so that they can be really, just so sleek and
Just
cool.
look
And
so
I'm like,
popular.
and it hurts my feelings. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck,
it
man.
shouldn't hurt your feelings. It's so
It
stupid.
seems so stupid and kindergarten, but I'm like, I thought we were friends. Like I met you in Cincinnati, and like I don't know, I like
Thought you were
I
cool.
thought you were cool,
Yeah.
It's like all in, everything's so like individualistic, I guess, which is something I was like getting at earlier, like this cult of fame, this like desire to be like famous, to be Hollywood. It's like me, I'm I'm the star, I'm the one who's gonna like whatever, and it just you forget about other people in the process, and then it gets lonely. It's like you're gonna end up feeling lonely, you're gonna have to do drugs and get all crazy, and die on painkillers in the backstage or something, you know? Like, I don't want that.
Yeah. No thanks.
Rambling.
Yeah. No, it's true though. Yeah, people. It's like the social media stuff. It made people become kind of obsessed with themselves too. Like I remember, I took a really long break one time, and then you always see it with fresh eyes when you come back, and you're just like, "What is happening?" Because, like on my social media, it's like if I don't post a picture of my face, no one sees the post ever. If it's
Right.
like a flyer or like a cool piece of art or like a flower. It's like no one's gonna look at the picture, so I always have to post my face. And I remember when I
Yeah.
came back from a break, and I was like, it's just like face, me,
I
and like,
know. It's
yeah,
true. It creates the monster. It's like
yeah.
that's what it wants to be fed.
The Society of the Spectacle talks
So
about all of this
crazy.
stuff.
Okay, I wrote it down. I'm gonna read it. Society of the
It's not a long
Spectacle.
read.
Okay, good.
It's chill.
Okay, cool. But yeah, no, honestly, like, yeah, it's weird because I started playing out music in like 2007, I think was my first show, and life was just so different back
So
then.
different.
Like, we had MySpace, I remember that, and it was just like, one show every couple months. It was like the best day of my life every time the show day
Yep.
showed up,
Yep.
and yeah, flyers, tell your friends, whatever. And then yeah, then the Facebook events popped up, and it was like, how many people are going?
Yeah.
Oh, only 10. No one's going to show up now because of this stupid popularity contest,
Right.
like, yeah, once that happened, that was like really annoying cuz I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, dang, so many amazing musicians are losing out on opportunities because publicly they don't have these like amazing looking stats,
Yeah.
you know?
And it's so weird, because it's like then I'll look at a band and I'm like, what is that? Sorry to sound like a jackass, but like it's true. Like sometimes I'm like, what is that? You have like all these numbers, all this crazy shit, and it's like then I see this other band, I'm like, that's an amazing band. And they're just like too nice or something, and they don't have enough money. But
Yeah,
it's true. It's like it is so crazy. It's like, oh yeah, that thing's only got 10 people coming, and then you feel the stress, this like
You're
psychic
like, I don't want to go to a
stress
10-person
to be
show.
like, oh, I have to get the numbers up. I have to send this to my aunt and like anybody just to get them to like
To
it.
say they're going to the
And
show.
it's like, what am I? I'm just like a little cog.
You're working for nothing.
You're working for nothing. You're just burning emotional energy for the aliens or something.
yeah.
A spaceship,
Yeah.
ultimately.
Yeah.
I'll go there. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've got us, dude. They've totally got us. I think I don't know, man. It would be so cool if someone could like revolutionize the way we share music
Yeah.
or just offer any other option. Like I don't know, like another option would be so cool. Um, or just like a shift back to like DJs finding music and sharing it with audience.
Yeah, like real radio. Not just like whatever it's called, clear channel,
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio, like they
Yeah.
just own the airwaves. So it's like, oh yeah, like we're gonna push Doja Cat, Taylor Swift, whatever,
Drake.
Sabrina Carpenter, whatever the hell it is. Like those are the things. That's what everyone's gonna get. And then it's like, oh, we're gonna be edgy, Charlie XCX, or like Caroline Polachek, and like that's like pushing it,
That's your indie.
And it's like there's still college radio, thank God, saves the day. But yeah, it used to be, like people used to be able to choose what music they wanted to play. Can you imagine that time?
Yeah.
What a cool time.
Yeah. You know who really inspired me on this podcast and did something really cool the other day was Caroline Rose. Have you ever heard of her? She's like indie. Um anyway, she speaks openly a lot about like the music industry. And the other day, like she's had I don't actually don't follow her like super closely, but I just see randomly these like amazing rants she goes on basically. And she said something um about musicians are just like working class people, like we're basically just like truckers and
Yeah.
just without health care. And then she's had a label, I'm pretty sure, and recently she was like getting really fed up with all this stuff, and so she just made an album that she just threw on Bandcamp, and she leaked it, with her own. She called it like Year of the Slug, and she just was like, "Hey, DM me a little slug emoji, and I'll like just send you the album. It's not going on Spotify. Like this is it, just Bandcamp." And like I love
Oh
that.
yeah.
I was like, "Cool, thank you." Like someone's doing it, something weird.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. She inspires me with this podcast specifically because um, she works closely with that. No one knows how to say it. The like UMAW or whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about? The Musicians Union, but it's like an organization. Have you heard of
No.
it? Yeah. Oh, it's super cool. It's I always say it wrong, or MMM something. I'll find out. But yeah, it's like this musicians kind of union, and they're trying to get something passed called like the Living Wage for Musicians Act. And yeah, they're like doing a lot of work to try to get like a penny per stream and Spotify. And
That's awesome.
yeah, and she works with them. So like I always see her posting stuff with them. But yeah, I'll send it to you when I
Oh
find out
yeah.
how to say it.
Yeah, I mean, a penny per stream can't be that hard.
Yeah, right?
Come on,
Mhm.
you know?
I know.
It can't be that bad.
I know. I know. What are your thoughts on the like if you saw it at all? Did you see the like Chapel Roan at the Grammys? What did you
I
think
did.
about that?
I didn't see it.
I saw like clips of it. I didn't watch the like full thing, but I thought it was pretty cool. You know? I like Chappelle Roan actually.
Is
Like
that
Really?
how you say?
I like pop music more than he does.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we both agree that we like her. I think she's cool, and I thought it was awesome that that she just came out and said some real shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I like Lady
Like,
Gaga too.
yeah, you do.
Yeah.
But it's just we need more of that, you know? We need more people that have really like made it, that are willing to speak up for people that were, still developing artists. It's like it's just so true. It's like, like in Miami right now, like a lot of venues are closing, like smaller venues. And there's nowhere for artists to kind of like try out their stuff anymore, you know? It's like there's just like bigger venues right now.
Mm-hmm.
And everything's closing, and it kind of feels like that in the music industry too. It just feels like if you're a developing artist, there's nothing for you really. There's nothing for you to try. It's like you just like you have to be like already ready with like the graphic design and the images, and like
Yeah.
you have to
If
have
there's a
your
graphic designer in your band, like you're set. You're
you
good
just
to
have
go.
to be like, and I
Which
know
no, that's not a knock on anybody, but it's
it
like
may sound bitter, but it's just like
but it's just like,
hard.
damn, dude,
It's
like
just
you
hard.
really like that's a big part of it, like having a well thought out aesthetic that works is like a huge part of initial success nowadays. And that's just a fact.
It's just a
I
fact.
think we need to like look at that ourselves,
We
and
do.
I definitely encourage anyone thinking about starting a new band to like,
Nail that shit down.
as much as it's like I want to just be like just focus on the music, like if you want to take it further, like definitely like you're gonna spend some time like thinking about that aesthetic and
Yep.
how it all ties together because on the whole, like humans are visual people. Like music is great, but like we see things and we make a call, and that's just
And
human
we hear
nature.
things, but I think it's also like very focused on visual right now, like as a society. Like I don't want to say it's more or the other. I just think it's like we are very focused on visual right now, and we're very like limited by our language parameters on like how to like just verbal language. Like we're really focusing on that and like visual, and I think it does limit a lot. Like not to get too esoteric over here, but we're kind of like we're very like boundaried, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I remember the first time someone told me that when they were like, the first thing someone thinks about, or, you know, when they see your band is like your album cover or like your logo or something. And then they're going to choose off of that,
Yeah.
you know. Ooh, I like the green. Like your
Now we're
plants.
green.
Yeah. I could change mine too. Hold on. But mine
But you
doesn't
got
go green. Hold on. Blue ish.
Oh,
Oh. Yeah. I think
Oh,
I like the blue. Yeah, that's cool.
that blue's nice.
change
uh,
the vibe up.
You know the cats
yeah.
like blue light?
Really?
Yeah, so we
I didn't know
put
it.
whenever time we leave, or if we want Walter to chill out, we put the blue light on. We're like, here you go, Walter. It's like
We're
club.
like, shut up,
We're like, it's
Walter.
Club Walter. And just put some.
Does Walter like music?
She does.
Yeah,
Funny question. We have a little record player on this little low table over there, and she when we play the record, she just stares at it.
she just looks at the record like,
And then she'll walk over the record player, but so like
she's
daintily.
she's
She like
super careful.
never touches the spinning record, like she knows.
Hmm.
Hi.
She knows we're talking about it.
She was just like talking about me.
Yeah.
Oh, she just took a big dump.
If you are loving Walter's appearances as much as I am, then I can 100% probably most likely guarantee that you would love Sorry Cables as much as I do. It's a rad, colorful instrument, microphone, custom cables. They can do it all, honestly. And they're really colorful, they're very high quality, and it's a small business based in LA. Thank you, Sorry Cables, for sponsoring today's podcast, and please check them out at sorrycables.com. Walter's like really spicing up this podcast. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like animals they react to music in such a cool way.
Yeah. She gets like tripped out. She's just like,
Yeah, she'll just stare at the
head
record
back.
thing. She's like, what? But she know, I think she understands it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. What are your plans for 2025? Like, are you all just trying to like tour a bunch, or are you trying to like just settle down in LA and like
We're writing music. We're
and
coming out with an EP for this tour, a 3-song EP, and then we're working on our album, also set to come out this year. So we're
cool.
pushing out a lot of music this year.
Yeah,
Is our goal.
I think that's the biggest goal. We have this tour in March, but not too much else touring wise planned. I think it'd be awesome to start looking at touring for like next year.
Mm-hmm.
If that's, but again, we're kind of just doing it ourselves. So it's like if someone just asks us to go on tour with them, we're like, that sounds cool. Like that's how it goes for us. But yeah, like our biggest thing right now is just we want to just put out as much music as we can. So yeah, that's really the goal is make a good living out here in LA and make sure we can pay rent and survive and while still staying creative and putting out tunes.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I feel like there's a big hunkering down happening for some reason with music. Like a lot of people I know right now are feeling like doing that, like just focusing on recording, and it's nice. I think it's because touring is so freaking expensive.
Touring
And
is so
Yeah.
expensive and so hard. And like, as an opening band, and we're grateful to be getting like better gigs now. Like, but man, it's like,
Yeah, you're lucky if you can make $300 a show, like just as a performance fee.
Yeah.
everything else, with
For a tour for where we're at right now, the hierarchy of things, it's like it's tough out there. It's like you're not making money on a tour where we're at, you know? It's like maybe with merch if you're really smart about that, and we're trying to figure that out right now. But it's like, you know,
Yeah, it is tough. Do you, when you go out, like, uh, say like a three-piece or something, do you stay in hotels or do you crash on people's floors or do you have like a van you live in or what do you do?
no way. I won't. I like
we've
Airbnb.
crashed on enough floors that like it was too disgusting some of the
Not
times.
doing it anymore. It's Airbnb or hotels for me.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
And then sometimes you just get in weird situations and you can't
Yeah.
sleep, or someone's starting to talk to you till like 4 a.m.
Like
and you're like,
yeah,
I just want to sleep,
they haven't
please.
cleaned their bathroom in like since forever.
Oh,
Yeah, we just figured we save up before we go on tour. I try to work as much as I can leading up to a tour so I can have a little extra money, and then we just whatever.
Yeah.
That's part of the fun. It's like you gotta have fun when you do it, and like
Yeah.
sort of treat it like it's not like a vacation, but it's for your own mental sanity. It's got to be a vacation, so it is, and you just like I'm gonna stay in nice places and enjoy this, and get
Yeah.
rest and take hot showers and
And we're working on our merch thing. Like we want to have
we're
like
working on
more
merch.
options. We want to have like a couple shirts, like some tapes, and just some more options. Because we were talking to our friends in that band Sextile, and that she was like, like
The more options,
the more options,
the
the
more
more
you
money
sell.
you make. Because people like to see that, and like their merch game is strong.
Yeah,
Like
their
they
merch
have some
game is
sick stuff,
their
and
merch
it's
game is
like,
tight.
and it's true. The more stuff you have, the more people are like, they're like in a little shop. They're like, oh, what's that? What's that?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's one thing we're also trying to really focus on.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's like where people are making their money now. Yeah, I made like random magnets for Francie Moon recently, and it was awesome. All these people just like bought magnets from me, and I was like, oh yeah, like that's an option. to
Yeah.
I was like, so today I woke up and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make tote bags, and I just like emailed someone. I used to just like screen print everything by myself, but I think I like you with sleeping on the disgusting floors. I've screen printed myself into outer
Oblivion.
space. Yes,
Yeah.
and yeah, and then I'm at this point. I used to have a friend who would help me get like the screens, like make me really nice screens for like $20. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then I would just use them for years or until like it ripped on accident, but I don't have the screen hookup anymore, so
Yeah.
yeah, but I was like, I could make tote bags like this
Yeah.
morning.
That's what we heard too. Tote bags. Tote bags work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Where
we
did
have
you?
them at what?
Sorry. Where did the name Francie Moon come from?
Space, outer space. I was just driving one day and it just hit me. I don't know. I was just driving and I just heard it. Francie Moon.
Damn.
And I was
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah, and I was like, I like that. That's a weird name. Like I just Francie, I'm like I have no idea. I wasn't really looking for a stage name. I accidentally did that to myself, but I wanted it to be a band name. Like a
Oh
band
yeah.
name that is an A name. Kind of like Gustav, I guess. Like
Yeah,
every
totally.
once in a while people think Rom is like
It's
Gustav the
Gustav.
It's
guy.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's like it's just
Hello,
a
Gustav.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and then I kind of played around with thinking. I just thought about Francie. I couldn't like get rid of it. It was just stuck. Francie
Yeah.
Moon for
It's an
like
awesome
6
name.
months. Thank you.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, I really like it too. It's like I feel a little weird being Francie. Like people call me Francie a lot, and I'm like, but I'm Mel, But
I think I was like
fine.
super wasted and I called you Francie once.
It's fine.
I was like,
Everyone calls me Francie.
oh, and I saw, I walked away and I was like, dude, what am I'm so drunk right now. I'm like,
I'm so used to it though. Even like people, they'll remember for like a year and then they'll just see me on Instagram and then they'll be like, it'll be Mel for like a year and then Francie again the
Yeah.
next time I see them. And I put in parentheses on top now, music by Mel, so people can maybe
oh yeah,
remember, but
yeah.
it's fine. I did it to myself. I really did. You know? So,
But that's how people know each other now, is on Instagram, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I remember some people by their handles also.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I'm like, I forgot your name, but I know that they're at whatever, you know, like
yeah.
the weird world we live in.
It is. It is. And yeah, I remember after like high school, it was like you didn't know anyone's last names anymore. And I remember that was really weird. So you're like, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
like, I don't know. It was just a weird time. And now it's like, you know, people by their random, like pancakes, 3, 2, 1. You're like,
I
what's
know.
that?
It's weird times, brother.
Weird times.
Pancake
Um,
Street 2-1 go.
yeah. um, I just want to bring up because how I met you was so amazing. We were in like, was it Texas when we played together?
Yeah, in Dallas, I think.
Yep.
Yes. And you had like your friends or bandmates, whoever they were, come out in like robes playing the recorders
Yeah.
together.
Oh my God, I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
And I love record. Like I've been playing the same recorder since I was like 5 years old, and it like
Oh,
made
Yeah.
my life because I've never seen anyone else like appreciate recorders as much.
He
So
loves recorders.
I
yes,
do.
I
Yeah.
just needed to bring this up because recorders are the coolest thing ever, and
They
they're
are.
like looked at as like a little kid, you know, instrument, but they are actually sick.
No,
They
they're
are.
awesome.
Yeah.
They're super
I
sick.
made a record that's all recorder. I'll send it
Yes.
to you. It's
Yeah.
on Bandcamp,
It's
and
on
it's
Bandcamp.
all recorder, and it's all like manipulated with like synthesizers and like a Korg MS-20 and all, and like pitched all weird and stuff. So yeah,
You'll enjoy it.
it's called
You'll love it.
Dorovsky or Door of Sky, but like all one word.
Okay.
So
Dorovsky.
Dorofsky. Yeah,
Okay. Dorovsky. I love
Door of
that.
Sky,
Dorovsky.
but like
Sky.
Dorovsky.
But yeah, we were doing like we were on some medieval tip at that time. We were like, we want everything to be this weird, like medieval flute world.
Oh, and we would bring our a granite. Hold on. We would bring it too.
We go through different themes, you know,
That's
like
cool.
phases. Right now we're in the butler.
Yeah, we're in the
Yeah,
butler now,
I
but
love the butler.
Hey, thanks, man.
this is like a granite skull that our friend carved from a rock, you know.
Wow.
It's a runt.
And we would bring this with the recorders, and this guy was at like every Donzii show for like 5 years in the
Yeah.
beginning. Like this was on stage, and it's so heavy. It's like this is
Wow.
definitely like 25 pounds or something. It's really heavy.
Wow.
Ah,
Yeah, and Jenna, I think I remember you wearing like a big red skirt or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so cool.
And I had my friends like nutcracker style like come out of the skirt.
It's hilarious.
I just
It was
like
so
the
good.
shenanigans, man.
and she had
Yeah.
a broken wrist.
And I had a broken wrist.
Oh yeah. Wow. Huge shenanigans.
We've
Yeah.
been through it, man. This band.
So the
man,
best
tell you
was that
what.
we got to that show or to Dallas, and we brought all those performers because we were like, for fuck knows what reason, we were like,
We
let's
saved up
let's
all this
make
money.
let's make this way harder on ourselves and bring like 3 performers to Texas that we have to feed and put up for a week.
These are like our
And,
best friends.
and,
We
like,
love them. But
and then like one of our friends like missed the flight from Miami,
yeah, of course.
gets in like to Dallas like hours after. Luckily, they got the standby on the next one, and then the van that we had reserved to drive to Austin the next day was like gone. They were like, "Oh, like you don't your credit like whatever, like your credit card is insufficient, like canceled." And then I was like, I was about to like rent a U-Haul and like find a free couch on Craigslist and like throw everyone in the back on this couch.
And everybody was like,
And
no.
everyone was like, no, dude, like that's not impossible.
That's
And I was like, you
not-
guys can, I'll sit in the couch in the back, like whatever, like it's fine.
And I was like, yeah, we could just we'll just strap everyone to
I
the
was like,
wall.
I'll do the bad thing, like
I'll
you guys
just
can,
tie
you guys
up
can
to
all
the
sit
wall.
in the nice part, and I'll sit in the back. It's fine, like trust me, this will work. And then like everyone was like, dude, we're not doing that. Like we're gonna fly back to Miami before we do that. And I was And then eventually we did realize that there's like a pretty cheap bus that goes from Dallas to Austin.
So we did that.
Oh.
Yeah, easy. Like, but
I think
almost
like
did some stupid stuff.
oh, I think that's really funny because I feel like when you tour a bunch, like I don't know what comes first. It's like the chicken or the egg thing where like either you're like a musician who like it's just in you to do stuff like that, to like be that persistent, to like always find a solution, or like
Yeah.
it's just touring that causes you to be like, no, there's a way. I swear there's a way.
Yeah.
And like other people are like, you are like out of your mind, and you're like, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
gonna work. I
Yeah.
swear.
I don't know what that is, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
I would still do that, honestly.
It's a good idea. Honestly, like that's
I was like,
hilarious.
we'll get a free couch on Craigslist. We'll go to Home Depot. We'll drill it into the freaking back of the U-Haul. We'll get to Austin, undrill it, return the drill, dump the couch.
Pretty
No
good. You
one
just sell
was
the couch. You would sell it
sell
for
the
like
couch
50
for 50
bucks.
bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make some
Hell
money.
yeah. Yeah, you know what? You get it. You get
Yeah.
it.
I'd do that. I would have been on that couch.
Hell yeah. Me too.
That's
And if
so
you want,
funny.
yeah, it's like, oh, you don't want to ride in the, you could drive, like whatever you drive. Man, I don't care, dude. I'll take my chances.
We gotta get to the show.
Yeah. Bottom line, gotta get to the show.
Yeah.
Don't don't think about taking a bus. Like like
Yeah.
someone did like one Google search. They were like, "There's a bus," and we're like, "Oh, okay." Like I'm like trying to find free couches on Craigslist.
That is really funny.
They're like, there's a bus for 20 bucks, dude." Like, oh, okay, you're right. That's better.
Oh my gosh, the amount of like sketchy things we've all probably done to like
Oh
get
my
get to the
God.
show is like
Yeah.
because you
So
just feel like
sketchy.
there's no option. Like it's like you never cancel the show unless it's like the most
Right?
ultimate like you can't, you just like can't make it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like that kind of respect. I feel like that's something I really appreciate about musicians. You know, like we take it like very seriously. And like if someone is like really sick, you know, it's like it's like a huge deal. You're like, damn, like, am I that sick? You're like,
How
wait a
sick
minute,
am I
like
right
how
now?
sick? Like, oh, I can't cancel this show. But it's like it's such a huge deal, and I think like that's just like it's something like really like it's really special because it's like you care about your fans, you care about it's this like
Your
sacred
reputation.
space. You know,
Mhm.
like yeah, your reputation, but more so it's like the stage and like that whole world. It's like sacred, you know, and it's like you don't want to like
Dude, the
just
best.
disrespect that.
Last year
You
we had a
know?
really good one where we were moving to LA and this one was so bad. Jenna was like, "We're gonna play shows while we on our move
That
out
was
to
the worst
LA," and I
idea
was like, "Jenna, like that's a
ever.
horrible idea."
It
Like,
was the worst idea of my whole life.
I was like,
Still recovering.
why don't we just play the shows and then we'll fly back and move?" And she was like, "No, no, no, it'll be a fundraiser and like everyone's gonna support." And I'm like, so bad. And
It
then
was so bad.
we're like trying to move out of the house we've lived in for 5 years and like move to LA, drive across the country and play a show like in Orlando that night. And then like Walter the cat disappears
No.
and she just like meowed when I said that. And like we were like, okay, like if we don't leave now, like we're gonna miss sound check. Okay, well, can't find the cat. Well, if we don't leave now, we're gonna miss the first band. If we don't leave now, like we're gonna miss our entire show. And like
Stop.
Danny's there and everyone's there. And we left Miami
Without our cat.
without our cat.
With all our belongings.
Like
In a trailer.
everything just like fucked up, like
Fucked up. Like we've
just
packed
thrown in a
horribly.
like changing our
Such
entire
a
life.
dumb idea.
And
I don't know what I
we
was
like
doing.
pulled up to the show like 5 minutes before we played and just
Legit.
like played it all. It was awesome, but it was like the most stressful day of my life, I
Yeah.
think.
I think so. And then like afterward there was this like there was a fan that was like, you gotta come skinny dipping in this lake. Like you gotta come do this. And I was like, man, like I just busted my ass, you know, like to get here. She's like, oh yeah, you put on this whole show, like you're this, you know, free spirit on stage, and now what? And I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm like,
they were
dude,
like
these are some unrealistic expectations.
they were like giving
like,
us shit for like
you know,
not
I'm
skip
like,
dipping and like I'm like we just moved. I've
I
been
don't
moving
know
all
what you
day.
need from
Leave
me,
me alone.
but I'm giving it all.
I hate that when people are like, "Come on, what, you don't want to stay up till 5 a.m. with me?
Yeah.
Like, you're
Like,
no fun." And you're
Yeah,
like, I just started to be like, "I'm not fun. Like, I'm not, I'm not.
yeah.
yeah, hell
No,
yeah.
sorry, because no, just certain people when they're like really aggressive about it, and you're like,
Yeah,
I've
no,
been
this,
on tour for 6 weeks. Like, I don't want to be up till 5 in the morning. I only have 3 hours of sleep. You know."
yeah,
Yeah, I have to do this all again tomorrow.
yeah,
You get to this is like your party of the week, and for me, this is my job.
yeah.
Like,
It's like, come on.
but yeah, no, I know what you
But
mean.
anyway,
And anyway, don't move and play shows while you're moving. That's my advice.
That's great advice. That's some of the best advice ever given on this podcast.
Don't just move. Just worry about moving.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it. You don't have to play shows while you move.
Yeah. No, I know. There's just like this weird thing. I feel like you just want to like do everything all the time as a musician, you know. Like we have to get it. And there's always like trying to optimize like everything that you're doing, you know. It's like let's
Yeah.
just like yeah, not gonna name names, but I had a friend recently whose mom was in the hospital, and it was like, but they had like a music video planned, and they were like trying to visit their mom and like still do the music video, and it was like,
Yeah,
no, like
you
you
can't.
can't,
You
you
can't.
can't, like it's just too much, you know. But like when you go through all the planning process, you're
I know.
like, you don't want to cancel it, like you want to make everything work, but it's like sometimes you just like have to be a person first
You have
and
to
not.
be a person
Absolutely.
first, and I think we're learning that a lot right now too. You know, it's like after
It's
that
taken us a
move,
while to learn that you
and
have to be a
like,
person first.
you know, like I have to take care, like I have health shit with my shoulder. I have all these things going on, and it's like, yeah, I put myself second a lot, you know.
Mhm.
And now I'm like, can't do that.
Yeah.
Gotta take care. You know what I mean? Sometimes there's wiggle room where you can kind of push it. Sometimes it's like, yeah, man, like,
Walter's going crazy.
but yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Lydia, speaking of that stuff, like Lydia on the year I joined Gustav, she like hurt her knee pretty bad at a show in LA right before I joined, and then she just kept touring with it. And then when she came home, she found out that like a piece of her knee like fell off and was just like floating around in her knee, and she had to get like surgery on her knee. But it's like so wild because when you play, you're just like, it's gonna be fine. I'll just finish
Of
this
course.
tour. I
yeah.
see Walter.
Walter's
Dude, can
going
you hear her going
ape
crazy?
shit.
I just saw her going around the couch like in circles.
Walter,
She's going off right now.
I
she's
love
really
that.
amped up right now. I don't
The
know what's going
zoomies.
on.
That's fun. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I think anyone out there who's listening, it's like it's really easy to, if you're a musician, to like put yourself second, but like you gotta take care of yourself, because
Yeah,
if you want to play music for a long time, it's like a lot of physical stuff going on, your
Yeah.
fingers, your balance, your dancing, like it's all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, you're kind of like an athlete, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
you are an
Yeah.
athlete who's also being goaded into drinking every night, you know?
Yeah. Like, yeah,
Here's
not
your
eating
drink
enough.
ticket.
Hmm.
Take your drink ticket.
Oh, I don't drink, and I trade it for like a French fry.
$5?
No.
Yeah,
Can I get $5
I know.
for
I'm
these
like, I
tickets?
don't want. I have so many drink tickets because I don't drink.
We have a box of drink tickets. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, my bag every once in a while I have to like clean it out, and it's just all these tokens and tickets, and I'm like, I like giving it to friends though. Like when they come
Yeah,
out to the
That's the
show,
best
you're just
part.
like, yeah.
Totally.
same.
Yeah.
They're like, "What? This is sick." I'm
Yeah.
like, "There
Take
you
it,
go.
Take
take it,
it.
please, please.
Get fucked up."
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, this was so fun. Thank you
Yeah,
for
man.
Thank you,
chatting.
Mel. This was
Yeah.
really
Thanks
cool.
for having us.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Walter, for keeping it fun, keeping it
He's going
alive.
off.
Yeah. Yeah. I love this. And yeah, I can't wait to hear your album that you're doing with Chris Cody. That's gonna be incredible.
Thanks, man.
We're pumped. Yeah.
We'll send it
Yeah.
your way.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yay. And I wanna hear the recorder album too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll send you a link to
Message
it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
It's
Cool.
just weird music, but yeah. But
I,
it's
I
all
wanna
recorded.
hear it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
send
beauty
it.
of it, is that it's all recorded.
Yeah. That's the best part. I love recorder. It's great. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode. And check back next week for a whole nother episode. And check out the links in the description below for a lot of fun things to check out, including Dennis's awesome recorder album. So, bye bye.